You ever have one of those moments where you just sit there, look around, and realize your whole life is one big mess of other people's greed? Yeah, that happened. See, my wife Sarah, the love of my life, was taken from me by cancer 8 months ago. But the real gut punch didn't come until after, when Delilah Thornfield, our HOA president, fined me 5 grand for my ugly garden, poisoned my wife's favorite roses, tried to steal my inheritance, and then when all that didn't work, went full villain and tried to torch the spot where Sarah's ashes were buried. I know you're probably thinking this sounds like some made-for-TV movie, but I swear, every word's true. Let me back up a sec, because if you ever loved someone so much you'd fight a whole army to keep their memory alive, you'll get where I'm coming from. The last words Sarah ever spoke to me in that cold hospital room with the beeping machines and the smell of bleach everywhere were about the garden. "Restore grandmother's garden, Marcus. Promise me my ashes go there mixed with the soil." I told her yes, and I meant it. But I had no idea what kind of war that promise was about to unleash. See, Sarah's ashes weren't just in that garden. They were part of the earth, right underneath those old rose bushes she'd loved since the day we moved in. But Delilah, God, Delilah, she never saw a flower she couldn't price tag. Dead people don't need gardens, Marcus, she sneered 8 months after the funeral, tapping her nails on my doorframe. Time to sell and move on. Thing is, she didn't know Sarah's ashes were already there, or that my wife, God bless her stubborn soul, had spent her last months uncovering secrets about the land that even I didn't know. That garden, turns out it was a legal booby trap worth $750,000, locked up tight in a trust only if the garden stayed intact as a living memorial. Sarah figured someone like Delilah would come sniffing around. She just didn't guess how far the HOA queen would go. You want to know how far is too far when it comes to protecting someone you love? Drop a comment. I'd really like to hear it, because I went pretty far and I still don't regret a damn thing. Delilah, well, her story goes back even farther. She and Sarah both grew up on this street, neighbors to my grandmother. But while Sarah was changing dressings and reading to the old woman, when her mind went, Delilah was just waiting to see who'd inherit the house. And when it turned out to be Sarah, not her, Delilah's friendly smile went colder than a banker's handshake. She got herself elected HOA president and started squeezing every original homeowner until they snapped. You ever meet someone who weaponizes kindness? That was her. Frank, the Vietnam vet with PTSD, she helped him out after he suddenly had utility issues and property fines. Eleanor, the widow next door, her too. One by one, people lost their homes to shell companies. Delilah controlled all, sold way under market. It wasn't a neighborhood, it was a hunting ground. But after Sarah died, Delilah turned her full attention to me. Marcus, honey, she'd coo, laying a cold hand on my arm. Sarah wouldn't want you to struggle. I know people who could buy this place, help you move on. Yeah, sure, she was those people. But it wasn't just about money. She played mind games. Anonymous calls to adult protective services. Rumors about my unstable behavior. Whispers that grief was making me dangerous. Then the roses Sarah loved, gone overnight, accidentally killed by some HOA community beautification effort she personally oversaw. I stood there running my hands over brown petals, feeling something deep inside me snap. This wasn't about grass height. It was about erasing Sarah. Then came the $5,000 fine, 30 days to fix violations or face legal action, the deadline falling on the anniversary of Sarah's death. Cold, right, surgical. And I was supposed to just let go. But as I knelt in that poisoned garden surrounded by the lavender Sarah planted, I felt her presence stronger than ever. I found her research pages and pages she'd kept hidden about the property, Delilah, and the trust. Sarah had outsmarted all of us. The garden was the lock, the trust was the vault, and the only way Delilah could get her payday was if I let the place fall apart. That's when things got ugly. Delilah started sending city inspectors, health department folks, even the IRS. False reports, legal threats, my phone ringing off the hook. Then the worst, she tried to claim the land, said she'd been maintaining the garden for 10 years, produced fake receipts and photos, and tried to say my wife's burial was illegal. I spent nights reading to Sarah at her memorial, rock neighbors watching from behind curtains, believing every nasty rumor Delilah spread. But she didn't count on me fighting back. I hired a PI, Miguel Santos, sharp as a tack and meaner than a junkyard dog when he wanted answers. He followed the money. 15 properties, all sold under value, all to Delilah's shell companies. Elderly abuse, fraud. But what blew the doors open? That garden. The old roses Sarah loved turned out to be genetically unique. Botanists from the university and federal archaeologists confirmed it. The site got flagged as historic, worth $500,000 just in research value. Suddenly, the HOA was powerless. State regulators dropped every fine and the feds cordoned off my backyard. But Delilah, she just got more desperate. She hired an arsonist, Tommy the Torch, to burn the place down. FBI was already watching, caught everything on camera, right up to the moment they tackled Tommy with a gas can in his hand just feet from Sarah's memorial. Delilah went down for conspiracy, arson, bribery, elder abuse, the whole 9 yards. Her empire collapsed in a week. The story blew up, news vans, National Geographic, senators calling for HOA reform. Sarah's garden became a national historic site. Eleanor Blesser became our new HOA president. We rewrote the rules, protected everyone who lived there. That trust Sarah set up. It now funds scholarships, environmental research, and therapy gardens for veterans like Frank. And me, I'm still here, still tending the garden. The roses Sarah loved are back in bloom, and every sunset I feel her close in the soil, in the scent of lavender, in the laughter of neighbors who finally feel safe. The memorials become a tourist spot. Kids plant seeds, old folks tell stories, and everyone leaves with a piece of hope. So let me ask you, what would you do if someone tried to erase your love, your history, your reason for holding on? Would you fold or would you fight? Drop your story in the comments. And if you've ever dealt with an HOA nightmare, or just want to see what happens when love outlasts greed, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around. Because as long as there's one stubborn soul left willing to dig in their heels, love's going to win every single time.